Tony, good evening to you.
Yeah, great evening. Good to be back on radio. It's been such a day, really. And
are you fine? The kind of conversations you've been having with me all day. Are you okay?
It's just, oh God. This is why I think I'm not going to marry an on-air personality. I won't do that. The techers are really trying because but sometimes, you must know where to draw that line,
So what have I said? I said, are you okay? I only asked a question.
You're bringing out personal
I did not say anything. I just said, are you okay based on the conversations we've been having?
Am I the one dating you, or is it Lagos that is dating you? I don't get.
Apologies. It's just a question.
No, really,
I just wanted to be sure that your mental health is
intact. The next time you bring some really important information to radio.
Are you British?
I'm not British, but I was just trying to tell you that you've got to keep some things personal, right?
Oh my word. Anyways, before we go into the conversation, guys, Valentine is on Monday. What are your plans? Let me start off with Samuel.
Work.
I know you're in a serious relationship. I know you're engaged, by the way. So
what
are your plans? What are your plans? Let's talk. We're colleagues,
I just told you work. I'm here.
And what happened?
It's not like the company gives us a day off on Valentine's.
You don't work on Monday evenings, so.
Yeah, but I have things to do on Monday evenings.
And after which you go home, you don't sleep. You don't stay over on Mondays. That's what I'm saying.
No, I don't stay. I don't stay over any day.
So you go home after your Monday work. So what happens afterwards?
I go and sleep.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I go and sleep.
Okay. Tony, what's your plan for Monday?
I have no plan. But I'll be receiving gifts though.
This guy now.
I already started receiving gifts. And big shout out to them ladies who are trying to show love, spread love.
Estate ladies.
Yeah.
Estate ladies.
Well, just beyond that.
So Sam even knows about. Okay. You see now, so I'm not the only one that knows about.
Where did we have that conversation? We never had that conversation.
Sam,
I have no idea.
Forget I said anything.
Shame on you both. Like shame, guys. So it's almost a week since the Teranga Lions of Senegal emerged champions of Africa at the 2021 African Cup of Nations, which went down in Cameroon after clinching our first AFCON trophy in over 50 years. The Mane-led side has been labelled the golden generation in the history of Senegalese football. So on the show tonight, we'll be looking at the golden generations in football, what parameters should be used in calling a particular generation of footballers golden, and which of the golden generations do you think were or are the most underachievers. Let's talk about the Senegalese team of 2002. Remember they played at the World Cup as well in that particular year. Got to the quarterfinals of the 2002 World Cup. Got to their first ever AFCON final earlier that same year after losing out to Cameroon on penalties on that particular occasion, but they did not win the African Cup of Nations. They had fantastic players like the current manager of the side, Aliou Cissé. You also have the likes of Alhaji Diop. You've got the likes of Moussa Ndiaye, Henry Camara, Bouba Diop, Papa Malik Diop, and you all know about the list and the rest of it. But at the end of the day, they did not win the AFCON, but the Mane-led side went on to clinch their first African Cup of Nations title after 50 years, almost 60-something years, if I'm not mistaken, at this point. That's for the Senegalese team. Let's also look at the English side, the English golden generation. Remember that when you talk about English football, you have to also remember that England's last and only triumph at the major international world tournament came way back in 1996. That particular year, the Three Lions lifted the World Cup trophy on home soil, and they haven't played in a final since then. England
1966 yeah
1966 England reached the semi-finals of the World Cup in both 1990 and 2018, as well as qualifying for the final four at the Euros 1996. But this is where it gets interesting. Between 2001 and 2007, England possessed a number of the very best players in the world, including the likes of Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, David Beckham, Rio Ferdinand, John Terry, Michael Owen, Ashley Cole, Paul Scholes, Wayne Rooney. The list just goes on and on and on. On paper, these very set of players should have at least reached the final at either the 2002 World Cup or the Euro 2004 or the 2006 World Cup, but they were eliminated at the quarter-final stage in all three tournaments. For the Belgian side, they call them the Golden Generation, by the way. This is a side that has got stars. Remember that in 2008, several players on the national team, talking about the Belgian side now, started to make transfers to important leagues like the English Premier League. Man United legend, Manchester City legend rather, I don't know why Man United is coming to my mind at this point, Vincent Kompany was the first big Belgian name to move to the Premier League, as the club was sold to Abu Dhabi United Group and started to build a competitive squad by making big name transfers in 2008. Now, remember this former Man United player Maran Fellaini as well at that point made a move to Everton from Standard Liège in 2008, and that's young man talking about Thomas Vermaelen made a transfer to Arsenal from Ajax in 2009. The 2014 FIFA World Cup team had players like Thibaut Courtois, Vincent Kompany, Jan Vertonghen, Moussa Dembele, Asef Witsel, Maran Fellaini, Eden Hazard, Kevin De Bruyne, Romelu Lukaku, and the rest. And they were able to reach the quarterfinals, but of that particular World Cup, 2014 World Cup at this point. But they fell to a Lionel Messi-led side, talking about the Argentine side, knocked them out after securing a 1-0 victory in the semi-finals, after which they climbed to the 4th position in FIFA World Rankings. 1 year later, they reached the top spot for the first time in history. Then came 2016 at the Euros. They came to the quarterfinals match against Wales. Everyone expected that game to be a walk in the park for the Belgian side, considering the stars they have, but they suffered a 3-1 shocking loss in the hands of Wales. The 2018 World Cup came with prime Eden Hazard, prime Kevin De Bruyne, and also Lukaku. Defeated Brazil in the quarterfinal stage, but they went on to lose to eventual winner France in the semi-finals. The 2020 Euros, you want to talk about that one as well? That particular Euros took place in 2021, and they fell 2-1 at the quarterfinal stage to eventual winners again, Italy. And that same year, they lost to France in the UEFA Nations League semi-final stage. So for the Belgian side, it's been a case of the more they get closer to clinching a trophy, the farther it becomes for them. So let's talk about golden generations of football on the show tonight. I'll be going to the phone lines shortly. The question I'm asking you is, which parameters should be used in picking a golden generation in the history of a particular national team? Because the reason why I'm asking this question is, for instance, if the current crop of English players, talking about likes of Harry Kane, Mason Mount, Phil Foden, Raheem Sterling, should they go on to win the Euros, the next Euros for instance, probably win the World Cup, would they be regarded as a golden generation? That's a bigger question for you. But first, let's talk about the parameters that should be used in picking a golden generation. Should it be down to the areas of stars, the number of stars they've got in the squad, or should it be down to the achievement those particular set of players they were able to achieve? But before I go to the phone lines, before I get the thoughts of the guys with me in the studio, let me welcome this young man talking about the Elder himself. Elder, good evening to you.
Yeah, how you doing?
I think I'm fine.
Good. Good to be here once again, on a Friday. I don't know, did you send the email somewhere?
Yeah, he's out of the show. I told him I don't want to see him anymore.
Oh, okay.
He has to send me an email of apology.
Oh, okay.
Before I can consider bringing him back on Friday show.
All right. Because I saw Samuel and I was like, I was shocked because He usually isn't on the Friday broadcast, but then I remember there was a shake-up. I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Are you sure you're still part of this team?
Yeah, I mean, I am still part of this team, but again, you just never say never, because I know he's not on the Friday broadcast.
Actually, this is the first time since the new shake-up that you and I are sharing the studio on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
There should be a problem. There should be an inquest.
Yeah.
There should be
You shut
an
yourself.
investigation.
It doesn't work for this station.
No,
anymore.
because we need to know what we're doing. Where are we going to?
Where are we headed? You understand?
Overdose,
I should be asking you that question.
You should give us an explanation. Where have you been?
See, you see, when you talk to me now, talk to me with respect, because my attention is diverted. It's not easy.
Oh shit!
You understand?
Your attention is-
we are combining two schedules. First you're in front of the camera, then you're in the studio. So it doesn't really add up. You understand? So I think based on that, I should be termed as one of the golden generation of presenters. You understand?
I didn't see that coming.
I should be the golden generation. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Sam, you're in the spirit. But it's good to be here, like I said, and I always enjoy the Friday. Maybe it's because it's the start of the weekend. It just has something about it, but always good to be here.
Before we go in for a break, Samuel, let me pick your brain a little bit.
Pick his brain. Okay.
I feel sorry for my brain.
Which of these set of golden generations do you think are the most underachievers?
Of the lot you mentioned?
Yeah.
Well, it has to be the England team. The England team. Forgive me, did you mention the Netherlands team?
I didn't.
I
skipped it. Yeah.
So,
tell me about the team, man.
Well, they had arguably the best 11 of their first team players were playing for the biggest clubs in the world, and they were the best set of players at the time. If you mention 22 or let's say a pool of 30 players, you would arguably mention 9 to 10 of those Netherlands side players in that side. So that's what makes them a golden generation. But I think the two most important parameters, which you rightly mentioned, has got to be titles won, and of course the quality of the talent in the side.
So if you had to pick one, which would you pick?
I think when I look going down memory, I think I'll go with the quality of the players.
Quality of the players for you?
I think that's
parameters
most
for golden generation.
I'll go with the quality of the players rather than titles won, because we've seen some teams not necessarily the best, but they still go on to win titles. Yeah, and you pitch them with some of the sides they've come up against. You don't see enough quality in them. So I think I'll go with the quality of the players than the titles won.
Okay, time to go in for a break. You've just heard from Samuel Akpan. On the flip side, I'll be taking your calls. Keep your messages coming in on WhatsApp as well, because we have a lot to talk about as it concerns the golden generation in football. Friday, so we need to give you that Friday vibe,
Yep,
you know?
yep.
Serafina Napoleon, Fina Fire for short, alongside
Let's go.
Anthony The Voice, and also
Dizzle.
Bolale Pepe Dem. The Bolale man.
Pepe demo. You see, he had to rhyme. Nicholas Pepe
Who
dem.
has Pepe Dem?
I'm telling you, you understand. Atarodo something. You know now.
The voice of the elder.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, it's all about the AFCON. You remember that? Oh Lord,
Algeria beaten 4-0.
Oh Lord.
No,
Overdose.
it was,
You will not do commentary when the
Don't do
World
that,
Cup they
please,
said that. No,
please,
because you have a way of just stealing the shine. You have a way of stealing the shine. I don't understand this kind of thing.
No, I'm still learning.
That was how you came.
I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
The next
I'm
we
still learning.
Sassuolo man. It's
It's Manuel Locatelli, the Sassuolo man.
You see the problem
That was
now?
when he was still playing for Sassuolo, but
the
now
problem now?
he's in Juventus.
Now you not come and do after.
Pepe demo.
Shame on you, Overdose. Welcome back. Remember, you can be a part of the show on Twitter at Finan. Did I just say at Finan?
I heard that. I'm feeling Napoleon. Yeah.
Nigeria Info.
Hype yourself.
At Nigeria Info FM on Twitter. On Facebook, we are live. We're streaming live on Facebook. So go drop your comments on Facebook. On Instagram, we've got a post up and running. It's all about golden generations in football. What parameters should be used in picking a golden generation? The caliber of stars or the achievements? During the break, there was a serious argument in the studio. I'm not going to tell you what that argument was all about, but the elder and Anthony The Voice seem to be on the same share the same thoughts as it concerns.
See, let me give you a classical example, Sarafina, because I actually listened to
First off, where are you tilting? Which one?
I'll go for trophies
or achievements.
No, achievements. I'll go for achievements, and I'll tell you why.
And
I remember,
now that you've talked about achievements, someone on Twitter dropped a comment and it says quality of players should be used as yardstick for golden generation. Hold on, he said, for instance, the best set of Brazilian team never won the World Cup, and they are the set of 82, 86 and 90.
No, I don't agree. I don't agree because when you look at it, I'll give a very classical example. The Spanish national team, at some point in time, they had quality players, and I'm talking about the likes of Luis Enrique, the likes of Estevaria, Fernando Hierro, Anthony Zubizarreta, Ivan Campo. These guys played good football. I remember in 1998, that right there, our game against Spain. I mean, that game ended 3-2, but you could tell that these guys played for top clubs in the Spanish La Liga, but they were known as perennial underachievers because they never won anything, not even the World Cup. But then you look at the golden generation of the Spanish national team. They're the ones that started with first the 2010 World Cup led by Iker Casillas. You look at the quality there. There was so much quality in that team, from Raul Albiol to Sergio Ramos to Carlos Puyol to Andres Iniesta, Javi Hernandez. You look at the guy, there was this guy, Marcos Senna, Fernando Torres,
before 2010,
David Villa Sanchez,
2008.
No. You are mentioning these players because they won the World Cup.
They won the World Cup.
That's the reason why you're mentioning
the World Cup. They won Euro 2012.
Okay.
You understand?
And they won 2008.
And they won 2008 under Luis Aragonés. When Fernando Torres, I think, scored the only goal in the final. So that is what you would define as a golden generation, because they won 2008, went to 2010 World Cup, won the 2012 Euros.
Back to back.
So I mean, for me, I look at quality because we've seen teams over time have quality, player quality. When I talk about quality, I'm talking about players that they could walk into any club and enter the starting 11, but yet they never won anything with their national team.
So wait.
Wouldn't say they are golden generation.
So what you're saying now?
Yes.
For instance, if this current crop of English players go on to win the World Cup, you would pick them as the golden generation compared to that of the Lampard era.
Yes, I will.
Are you serious right now?
Absolutely.
When they cannot match them man for man, player for player.
Read my lips. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Tony, what do you have to say?
Because at the end of the day, it's all about winning something, achieving something. It's just like you now going for a job and they ask you how many years of experience do you have. You say no. I'm tall. I'm lanky. I'm good looking. I'm sexy. I know I can feel. Oh, guy, where's your experience? Put it on the table. Let's go.
Yeah.
Just come and tell me
just
because
to,
of this.
give you some perspective in sports. A golden generation is an exceptionally gifted group of players of similar age whose achievement, reach, or are expected to reach a level of success beyond that which their team had previously achieved.
Thank you.
That was something I was saying prior to the break. That first, before you call them a golden generation, you must look at the benchmark.
Yeah.
The benchmark which have been set by the first set of team to have done great things with that country. And then any other team that comes closer with similar talent, or are able to match equally, the achievement, the benchmark which have been set, that team have got to be a golden generation. So first things first, the achievement, that is the key word there. Talented, achievement, those are the key words when you're talking about golden generation. So once
but you know, Tony, it's possible for a side to go into a competition and not really face a tough opposition, get into the final.
That conversation, see that
no, because you're saying that you can play your way to the final and lift the trophy. Doesn't make you exceptional.
No, those are external factors. They are,
oh my word, you just called it
they are subject, because listen, to win a tournament whichever way shows that team is doing something right. That team deserves to have won.
Not all teams, not all.
No, see,
let's take the AFCON for instance.
Yeah.
How many tough opposition would you say the Cameroon side they faced prior to the semi-final?
Did you know that I don't like this conversation, because listen, you can't in football. I mean, we see teams, Comoros, the Gambia. These teams defeated, established African side. Gambia beat Tunisia. Comoros beat Ghana.
That in itself is a success for those teams.
Yeah, sure. Now,
so she's
saying that, giving the caliber of teams that Cameroon were defeating, if they had gone on to win the AFCON, would you take anything away from that team because they got past Comoros and Gambia? No. The point I am making is the moment a team is able to succeed, in a tournament to lift a cup, they have done exceptionally well.
Success in itself is relative. I think when we hinge it on the fact that it has to be a team lifting a title, I think that's a bit too extreme.
No,
and
come on, Sam. What is the whole?
That is not the only success. Success is not defined by a title.
What is the target of a
Comoros
team?
never got to the final. They never lifted the title, but they achieved something no other team has achieved.
So you can call that a golden generation.
That's what I'm saying.
But when another team,
they have set a standard.
Yes, they've set a standard.
If there was
a Comoros team that never achieved that.
That's the point.
What they achieved. That team was also a golden generation.
No.
That team was equally a golden generation.
Now, Sam, this current Comoros team is the standard. They are the benchmark.
The first Comoros team that qualified for the World Cup was heralded as a golden generation.
Comoros, which World Cup?
Comoros on
at the AFCON. That was their first major.
Sorry, I said Comoros. What's it called? Goodness, I was on commentary duty for that particular game. They played at the previous AFCON. This is their second AFCON. I can't remember. When I remember, I will tell you. But what I'm saying is, a team achieves something.
Yeah,
they are regarded as a golden generation because they achieved some, not necessarily
because Sam. Let's get this thing, right.
Don't fall out from this.
No, Sam. They achieved something. Beyond the achievement, they must have reached or surpassed the benchmark already set. That is, you compare them in reference to what have been achieved before. That is one side
to calling it a golden generation. When you pitch your performance, that's success you're talking about. You're defining success in different levels with titles, with achievements.
Yeah.
I'm talking all encompassing here. I'm saying there are certain factors that contribute. It's not just okay, let's take out football. Let's go to Olympic Games. Let's talk about athletics. There are great Olympians that never won an Olympic medal, but they are regarded as the best ever be at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Because they achieved certain things.
What?
Come on, they want diamonds. They want diamond.
Come on, Sam.
Not everybody that goes to the Olympics achieves a medal.
Sam, see, this sport or sports generally is defined by the peak, the highest you're able to reach.
That's one side of it. That's one
Sam,
side of it.
It is the most important side.
Who says it's the most important? That's the point.
Because that is it. If you're in a class and you keep coming third, he who have come first will be the most successful student in that class.
700. It's
because the figures say
to this thing.
The statistics say.
Maybe we need to go down to examples, Sarafina, to get the listeners to understand where we both are coming from. Now, before the break, we were talking about teams that had not achieved anything and pitching them up against teams that had achieved. I've spoken about Chelsea in 2008 and the Chelsea. There's two generations of Chelsea: 2008, 2012, and now 2021. Those are three generations in terms of winning the UEFA Champions League title. Now, you would agree with me that the 2008 team were better placed. They had everything. The only thing that went against them was luck. They could have defeated Manchester United.
I'll pick that team anytime, any day.
No.
Yes, I would.
They had
Chelsea 2018.
In this situation, Sarafina, you have prioritized talent over achievement. There is a scale. There's a scale of preference when talking about golden generation. Achievement comes first, and then the level of talent comes next.
No,
that's not for me. Not for me. Sam,
go with quality.
Sam,
go with quality first.
Title is the icing on the cake.
A team. What is the goal of a team? Achievement.
Achievement don't necessarily translate.
No.
It's relative.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying.
The record nobody has.
I am not saying. Sam,
that's an achievement.
Achievement. I am not saying it must be trophy. I am not saying it must be a trophy. What I'm saying is, as far as you are able to achieve what you are able to meet with the benchmark already set, that is the peak. Once you have reached the peak, you can't be regarded.
I guess we have to maybe switch or change the conversation a little bit.
Yeah.
When we now have two categories of, trying to pick which is regarded as a more of a golden generation between two teams that achieve something. So what now distinguishes those two?
The highest
factor.
The achievement.
Okay. Now you said the highest.
Achievement.
You said the highest.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Now
the achievement.
If this current crop of Arsenal players go on to win the Champions League, but they're unbeaten team, which would you pick?
See, listen. I will pick them based on achievement.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll pick them based on achievement.
Because of the Champions League.
Yes,
this
compared
team.
to the unbeaten team.
Because this team.
I am telling you that.
Compared to the unbeaten team, a record that no one can break.
Listen. If this team, against all odds, a young team go on to win the Champions League, they'll arguably become one of the greatest teams in Arsenal history.
What makes them one of the greatest?
Because Arsenal have never won the Champions League before.
But have they gone unbeaten?
What I'm saying?
Yes, that unbeaten record is there.
What does unbeaten do for Arsenal?
They won the title that season.
Come on, I'm talking. Listen,
I'm telling you that title.
What is the apex of club football? The Champions League. Yes or yes?
Let's go to the phone line.
Yes or yes, Sam?
Let's go to the phone line.
Yes or yes?
Hello, good evening. Good evening, welcome.
Hello, good evening, Sarafina.
You're welcome, man. What's your name?
Good evening, everybody. This is Friday from Gallery.
We greet you.
Yeah, Sarafina.
Yeah.
What do you call a golden generation? A generation that win gold. You call them. They are one gold.
How they be going?
No, wait, let me give you an example.
Yeah, please.
Give me an example.
Continue.
From 1992 to 1998, do you watch the Dutch team? They have the Divoire brother, the clever Patrick Clever, Edgar Davi.
Where are you going to with these names
all
now?
those players. Today, if this generation, this current Dutch team, go ahead now to win the World Cup, will you say that generation
is better?
So Friday, because they had
let me ask Friday some
talent. Friday, wait. When you now have,
thank you so much,
Friday, can you hear me?
I'm hearing you.
When you now have two generations that achieved something quite similar, maybe not exactly similar. Okay, for example, the Liverpool 2005 team in Istanbul and the one that won defeating Tottenham Hotspur in the Champions League final, which is more of a golden generation for you. At least they both achieved something in winning the same title.
Hello?
Yeah,
Yes.
with you. Go ahead.
No, I want to ask you a question, Samuel.
No, answer my own first before you ask me your own.
Okay, I will pick the 2005.
Why? Why would you go with the 2005 set?
Because the manner they won that trophy.
See, this
Not
case,
because of the stars.
this case,
Yeah.
Sam has
Okay.
just brought a different perspective.
Let's go back to
the argument.
Let's go back to the phone lines. Let's go back to the phone lines. Hi, good evening and welcome.
Hello?
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, Sarafina.
You're welcome. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Kingsley. I'm calling from Lagos Island.
You have the floor quickly, man.
I would say about a golden generation. Let me remind you guys about Marcelo in Real Madrid.
Okay.
You remember he won 4 Champions League?
Yeah, he was part of the back-to-back.
Keep
yeah.
going.
Yes. Then a certain Roberto Carlos was a legend in Madrid before Marcelo.
Yeah.
But today, nobody remembers Carlos the way they remember Marcelo.
That's what you think.
That's the honest truth.
No, that's what you think, actually.
Champions League.
That's what you
That
think
didn't
because he
come
won
to what
Champions League.
In Real Madrid
Yes.
history, Carlos is more regarded than Marcelo
No,
because of
don't
the
say
titles
that.
he achieved.
Don't say that.
Madridistas will tell you Roberto.
It's time for you to call into the show right now.
Sam, how can you do this to me?
After you tell me
Honestly,
Madrid people regard
Good evening.
Benzema more than Raul.
Good evening. Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome. Quickly, what's your name and where you calling from?
My name is Femi. I'm calling from Ikorodu.
Femi, quickly, I need to go in for a break.
Why are you
Talk now, talk. Yeah, go. Time is going. Yeah, talk.
I think golden generation has got nothing to do with whether you've won something. I think it's got to do with the pool of talent in the team.
You assemble.
Now it becomes more heightened when a team that you expect to win something and does not win anything. Then it becomes at the end of the day, it becomes a team that had. For instance, look at the Belgian team the way it is now. It's a golden generation. It's expected for them to win. Now, if you don't win now, it becomes more heightened. That is a team that even without them winning anything was already been casting gold.
Okay.
So it's not until when you win gold before you are called a
golden generation.
That's my take on it.
All right, thank you. One more before going for a break. Hi, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, welcome. What's your name?
Yeah, I've got from Igondo.
Okay, quickly, man.
Yes. The Portuguese team that won 2016 Euro was lesser in everything. You can't say anything better.
Okay.
Then Roberto Carlos and
Marcelo.
in the history of Madrid, Roberto Carlos has a far record than Marcelo. I can bet it with anybody. Is it a sport kick you can compare? No, so it's not the best team that won a tournament that is the best. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for calling. Let me quickly head to what Twitter. I've got at Odun Tutu here. He says golden generation defines the quality or talent of the players. A golden generation may or may not win a trophy. We need to go in for a break. When I return from this break, I would also entertain your calls and we'll talk about Man United because it's looking like one step forward, two step backward for the Red Devils. Stick around. We are 99.3 Nigeria Info. It's a game on show and we are Femi and the Gang. is the job of a football manager. Let's talk about Man United manager. Because
golden generation.
Ralf Rangnick was meant to be an upgrade on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who was questioned and mocked throughout his time in charge, but the team has not benefited from the same upturn in form they enjoyed under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who took over in 2018. For United, they won 10 of their first 12 league games under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, while also making it to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup and the Champions League. Now, flip the coin. Let's talk about Ralf Rangnick. He has won 5 of his 9 league games so far, while taking United out of the FA Cup after being drawn at home to Championship club Middlesbrough. The 1-1 draw at Turf Moor in midweek was an all too familiar story for United fans so far under Rangnick. They went in at the break with a 1-0 lead, having delivered perhaps the finest half of football under the German. Racked up 12 shots, 5 of which were on target, and had 2 goals controversially chalked off. Rangnick has been unable to get his team scoring. In their last 3 games against Burnley, Middlesbrough and West Ham United, United have scored just 3 goals from 70 shots, with 17 of those shots on target. They created 7 clear-cut chances in 90 minutes against Middlesbrough, and they missed all of them. Rangnick has been in charge for 12 matches, and United have only scored more than 1 goal in 3 of them. Under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, in his last 12 games as United manager, they managed to score more than 1 on 6 occasions, and there was already a massive decline compared to what they played last season, when they scored 1.9 goals per game in the league, second to Manchester City. Under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer this season, they registered more shots on target per game, which happens to be 5, than they considered that they have under Rangnick. Under Rangnick, they are conceding more shots on target per game, 5.1, than they are taking, 4.33. The one upside under Ralf Rangnick at this point happens to be that they are conceding fewer goals under the new manager. United shipped in 1.75 goals per game under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer last season, but the figure has been reduced to 0.78 per game. However, much of their improvement at the back is due to the performances of David De Gea, who won the Premier League Player of the Month recently. According to statistics, De Gea is making 3.7 saves per game in the league this season, and has been the busiest he has ever been at Man United. Putting all this into consideration, let's talk about Ralf Rangnick. As United progressed or even made any improvement under the new manager. 0700 993 993 993 for the ladies, 0146 57 190. Let me talk to you. Yeah.
Breaking news: the Tigers have defeated France at the.
Wait, take it one step at a time.
I need to, when I saw this news, I need to confirm again.
Take it one step at a time.
It's like, well, it's not. It's like I can see
confirmation.
Nigeria have defeated France at the ongoing World Cup qualifiers, 67-65.
Woo!
The Tigers have qualified for the World Cup. That's what it means, because one win, was just all they needed.
Are you sure?
Having lost their first game,
and it was more like they were likely to get that win against Mali, because they got Mali in the group. So it was more of it's possible that they would lose to France, lose to China, and go on to defeat Mali, because one win would actually put you in a good place, because 3 teams are to qualify from the group. 4 teams, 3 teams gets to pick up qualification tickets to the FIBA World Cup. So congratulations to the Tigers. Tony, thank you very much for that.
Tony, confirm if it's not the 4th quarter score. Yeah.
No.
Overtime.
Anyway, of progress. We will leave this show. Tony, quickly, before I go to the phone, let's talk about Ralf Rangnick. Has United made progress under the manager?
Not really.
Which one is not really?
Yeah, not really. You might want to say, based on the points garnered, since he's come on board, there being that growth. I mean, with Ole, they had at some point 1 win in 7 games. Since he has come, you were reading out the stats: 5 in 9 Premier League, but then they got knocked out of the FA Cup. So yeah, they're being progress, all right, but how much of a progress? That's the big question, because in so many games, even games that they have won, they've still not looked convincing. It's still a bit of the issue that we have complained about under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The difference is under Ralf, they are more astute and they are more, will I say, result oriented, and even that is even arguable. But yeah, from what we see, they have won more games, but in terms of team improvement, not really.
Now, when you're saying not really, I'm trying to understand. You're saying
that means what I just mean in clear terms is, in terms of results, it has improved, but in terms of
results,
yes, it has.
Has it really? A team that got knocked out of the FA Cup?
It has. I mean, Safra, this is not an argument. 5 wins in 9. I was telling you, at some point under Ole, they had just 1 win in 7. They had lost 4 games back to back. So yeah, under him, the results have, well, kind of, we can see it. They have won games. At some point, I mean, they only got beat by Wolves. 1 loss in 9. So yeah, in terms of the results, there is a clear, improvement in the result, points garnered. But overall play, team structure, it's a team still trying to find their feet. The performances have not been out of this world. All right. So, like I said, the only difference is this set of boys on the RAF seem to understand how to grind out result, even when they don't really play well. And you can talk about the West Ham games, some games where they had to dig deep to get 3 points. So that's just, that's different for me. But overall, I cannot confidently say, oh, this team is a better outlook than what we used to have. But based on the results, it's there for the taking.
Let's talk Chelsea, because we hear the Blues will consider offers to sell Kepa Arrizabalaga in the summer transfer window, despite being delighted with his recent improvement in form. The Spain international has arguably been the match winner in his last 2 appearances at Chelsea as a beat Plymouth, and also in the FA Cup 4th round, and also secured passage to the final of the Club World Cup. And that semi-final win in the Club World Cup meant that Kepa has kept 7 clean sheets in 13 appearances in all competitions this season. But with Mendy, who is now back with the squad after winning the African Cup of Nations with Senegal, Kepa is expected to lose his starting spot for the Club World Cup final much later this weekend. Samuel, let me come to you on this one. From a Chelsea perspective, is this a good or a wrong move? And from the player's perspective, stay on the bench with higher chances of winning a silverware every season, or become a number 1 elsewhere with little or no chance of winning a silverware?
Wow, that's a lot. But starting off with the first question, if this is a good move
from Chelsea,
from Chelsea perspective, I don't think so. I don't think selling a goalkeeper who struggled from being the number 1 goalkeeper, the most expensive goalkeeper in the world, to becoming second fiddle to another goalkeeper. I don't think it's wise to let him go. Yes, you can understand the reasons why that has happened, deep in form and all that. Never really managed to get himself back to reckoning. But I think maybe Chelsea looking to cash in on the goalkeeper. Has he really lived up to the billing at Chelsea? To a large extent, yes, because he was part of a team that he single-handedly handed Chelsea the Europa League title when they defeated Arsenal 4-1 in the semi-final, where he had to save about 3 penalties against Bayer Leverkusen. In that one. So he's had his moments, but I think it's a case of one hand Chelsea probably looking to cash in, and on the other hand, Kepa saying, I need to play regular first team football. The World Cup is coming. He's not really in and out of the Spanish national side, so he needs to cement his place in that team and, of course, become a regular player. So maybe a look back to Spain is being mooted for him as well. So it's a win-win situation for both parties. But from a Chelsea perspective, who do you have as backup? Bettinelli was brought in from Fulham. I don't think he's that sort of goalkeeper that inspires confidence. So maybe they'll be looking to also go into the transfer market and get themselves another reliable second choice goalkeeper.
And what are the chances?
Yeah, that's the thing. What are the chances you can get that? I mean, Kepa has been brilliant ever since. Any time he comes in for Edward Mundy, he's always put up a fantastic performance. And I actually thought, Sarafina, that like Mendy's absence could maybe be the start for him to get back and make it a 50-50 kind of thing for both goalkeepers to compete for that starting 11. But obviously, I think that's not going to work. Mendy's always going to be number one, and maybe it's good for both sides. But on the other hand, the second question you asked as to
staying on the bench, win trophies or move, become number one, and
he's won titles, everything in club football. Maybe aside the Premier League title, he's won almost everything. Kepa Arrizabalaga. So maybe the motivation is not there anymore.
It's just it's all about playing for him.
Yeah, so the motivation now is to be a first team player for another top club and go. So if he actually wants that, I don't think the club will stand in his way stopping that. That would be the wise thing to do. So it's a win-win situation for everybody.
We've got a message from our friends at Cubana Whiskey, but before we take that particular message, let's talk about Arsenal, because Arsenal do not have a discipline issue under Mikel Arteta, despite suffering their 15th red card under Arteta, insists former striker Ian Wright. Remember that Martinelli was shown a bizarre red card, the first of his professional career, for 2 bookable offences in the passage of play in the second half. It means that the Brazilian forward joined the likes of Magalhaes as well as midfielder Granit Xhaka and Thomas Partey, who has been sent off already in 2022, while taking the club's number of red cards under Mikel Arteta, under Arteta's reign, which began in December 2019 to 15. That is 7 more than Southampton, who are the next Premier League side on the list with 8 in the same time frame. But ex-Arsenal striker Ian Wright, who scored 185 goals for the club, does not believe this is an issue. So I ask you this question: is there a discipline crisis at Arsenal, or there is a referee agenda against the club? Because some of the red cards are actually questionable.
Really?
Yeah, the one of last night was questionable. Yes.
It was the second booking, right?
Yes, the second booking was questionable.
Well,
yes.
What you mean?
Yes.
So you're saying yes. What do you mean yes?
It was booked twice for the same offense.
No, not for the same, for different offenses. The first was he stopped a quick throw, which is a yellow card, and then there was a flying arm to the face, and then went on to foul Semedo. Those are 2 bookable offenses. I mean, Michael Oliver clearly identified him that, listen, you got 1 for that, and you got 1 for this. Yes. And to be honest, players can be booked for 2 bookable
That's not true.
in the same.
Tony, no.
Okay.
Michael Oliver did not do the right thing. He killed that game.
Yesterday's own.
What do you mean no?
Yes.
That red card.
Martinelli.
That red card is questionable. That's
very questionable. Even I and my father were talking about this morning. My father told me that referee just killed the game.
What you mean
that red card?
What you kill? How can you say referee killed the game?
He killed it. Michael Oliver should be questioned.
How can you say referee killed the game with?
Yes.
Like he's supposed to preserve.
No. You just told Martinelli. And you did one over there. He did this red card. What's that? No, what's that?
But those are offenses in football.
No, you don't do that. You don't do that.
The referee
I am my father, because my father actually won that game, and I went to see him today.
Oh, so
on my way, and they were showing the match again, and I was like, Arsenal really tried though.
So emotional.
They really tried. As they gave everything. I was like, don't mind that referee that just wanted to kill the game.
So he killed it.
He killed it
with what?
With the red card.
He killed it with cutlass.
With the red hammer, the red card.
I said that you have taken something.
I didn't take any. See, let me tell you one thing. If Michael Oliver, let's call a spade. Michael Oliver should have actually just given him a yellow card, because there are sometimes when a player will do something, you tell him, listen, last warning. No, wait. You tell him last warning, and then if he does it again, then you give him a yellow card.
Also,
not that you've given him a yellow card before.
Was it a serious offense?
Yes. Tony.
When you are saying this, God,
when you what?
I can't believe my
when
eyes.
You what?
I'm trying to defend.
With your eyes. Who are you seeing here?
I can't believe I'm having to defend.
See, I'm not an Arsenal fan, but that was a questionable record. Very questionable.
Yes, I agree with you. Let's take a message from our friends at Cubana Whiskey.
So of you, we need to.
At least this one is not questionable.